Pop in, say hi. If you've never come into one of my lives before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore this inside and I explore the outside. And here on Sunday nights, this is a live show that I've actually had for years and years. And I have built up the most amazing, spectacular group of friends, I would have to say. People look at the digital age, even myself, when we look at these online dating sites and stuff, and you think, how can anybody get to know anybody online? But over the past couple of decades working online, right? Come to realize it's so easy, right? It's just in that connection that we have for each other and actually feeling it out. It takes time, right? But at the same time, I've had those really amazing, close, life changing relationships that have happened in an instant. Like even my husband, it was an inside joke between me and him, and whenever I wanted to put him in his place, because I used to joke that he was my one night stand who never went away. In the end, he went away. But we used to say that all the time because it was so instant. And I'd have to say magical, but magical in all different ways because it was very not the norm the way it worked out. And when I say not the norm, I'd say not the norm for Cindy, right? And yeah, it was I'd have to say, some of the most spectacular times that I've had in my entire life was in that span of 8 years. And even the prior 5 or 10 years before that. Oh, definitely 10 years. That 20-year span was so much fun. But I never thought that I would make those kind of connections. But it was instant. But sometimes those instant relationships, they take you places where you recognize that the person in front of you is truly not the person that you originally had that quickening for, right? Takes time. Sometimes we don't let our true natures come to the surface, do we? We kind of just show the best of ourselves. And I think over the course of the years here, right? And we all have private, unique, dynamic aspects of ourselves, but the way we connect with each other here is so amazing. I'm so grateful, you guys, to call you friends. Right? Right? I can't believe you guys have been with me all these years. And that probably a conversation for my 10-year anniversary. And I'll probably have something a little bit along the lines of that to say in that. But it is so true. Thank you so much. Hello, Hannah. Oh my goodness. Let me come in here. Hannah was first today, you guys. Owen, Andrew, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? That has not happened in probably the decade. Did you see that, Kathy? Hannah, who's been with us for not for long, maybe for long, but actually in the conversation, right? Hannah's pretty new in this crew, right? And look at in there first. Hello, Kathy. I hope everybody's having an amazing day. Oh, I forgot to put in the title of my live that it was show and tell. I'll make sure that I go back in there and make that correction after the live show. I was all ready to go 7:30 on the dot today, you guys. And then I put my glasses in the proper spot on my face, right? Because we could see there's reflective. They're non-reflectives. Yeah, I don't think so. These are pretty reflective, right? But still, it was like grease marks, and I was trying to get a lot of cleaning and stuff. We have our big Boxing Day sale coming up, and we're all going into our holiday modes. And I am off now until Boxing Day myself. I'm working that Boxing Day sale, but I have the next 3 days off. I'm only having two social events uh, during the Christmas holidays, which for me will be 3 days. And one is for a friend. She has been in my life since I've been at this job. She started off as a customer. Her son started working for us, and her son's not there anymore, but we keep up in that relationship, right? And she's a very nice lady. Her entire family is amazing. And they've invited me over. And yeah, it was going to be Wednesday, this past Wednesday, but it wasn't enough notice for her to whatever she wants to do. I asked what she wanted me to bring. She said nothing. I'll buy her a fruit platter or something tomorrow on my way to her house, right? But I'm doing that. And then also my sisters and my nephews and my brother-in-laws were going to go spend a couple of hours at my sister Tracy's house. Usually my sister Tracy does a Christmas stocking where she does stops to her sister's house and drops off a Christmas stocking to each one of us. But because of the health issues this year, right, majority rules, the other sisters decided that we're just going to go and hang out with her at her house this year. We're just going to let everything settle down. It's been a pretty messed up few years for her, but I think, right, with a lot of that stuff, we were actually talking about that this week, about when these terrible things happen in our lives, they're easier to handle and to go through and to deal with when we have all those other small tasks and all those other small needs in our lives taken care of. And she took care of a lot, so let's hope that she's going to be on the mend, right? Let's I'm rooting for her, right? We all deserve second chances, right? And my sister is a fighter. My whole family, we never give up. It's the way we were brought up, right? We never give up. She's a fighter for sure, that one. Okay. Andrew says, I'll be working Monday and Tuesday afternoons, then we'll be off till December 31st. Oh, well, that's okay. That sounds like a little bit of a break for you, Andrew. That's kind of nice. What about anybody else getting time off for Christmas? I'm off for the next 3 days. And then back into my regular work routine for a week. But in that week, it is countdown to when I have to have that finalization of the goals that I want to set for this year. I have, right? I have it. I think it's a list of 5 or 6 things, but how I'm going to go about it and when and right, how I'm going to save for these things, because I think most of these things will have a little bit of cost to them too. So, yeah, you guys will all hear it on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, we'll have a little bit of a get together for my 10-year anniversary. If anybody wants to pop in and hang out with me for an hour or so, maybe reminisce of some of those stories that we had in those adventures when I first came online Yeah, there are quite a few of them that I didn't share, right? Because I was sharing the urban explorers, but not the adventure in doing some of those urban explorers, right? Like when I fell flat my face on a raccoon, or I went through the floorboards, which I did. I went through floorboards, right? And sometimes, it wasn't. I felt that I wanted to be an urban explorer at that time, right? I really did, but my nature would not allow me to continue with the urban exploration the way that other urban explorations. I couldn't go on to land that wasn't mine, and I had a hard time asking for permission to get on people's land. Usually what I would do is I would just sit out on the road on my car and just stand outside my car until some farmer, because we're in the prairies, you could see me for miles along away, right? And then somebody would drive by and stop, and I would just say, "Oh, do you know who owns this property?" And they would say, "So and so and so and so and so and so." And I say, "Oh, better, right? I just like permission to go over?" And sometimes they would phone and get the permission for me. Sometimes they would say, "Oh, nobody owns it anymore. Go ahead. It's just, being taken over by the forest. Just be very careful." Sometimes the owners were right across the road, right? And they see me pop out, and they'd come out, right? Because it was probably something they dealt with all the time, people trying to get on to the abandons. And so that's how I did it. But it was very embarrassing for me because I just wanted to be out there. That was the whole point of me, urban exploration, and right, being on the back roads. It was in that idea of getting off by myself, going off by myself, right? I didn't want to ask for permission. It's not my friend, not my thing, right? I was programmed not to ask, right? Right? Though some in my family have been programmed to demand, and maybe that's, why I can run a good show, because that guilt and shame always surfaces whenever I make a demand, right? And being in those leadership roles, you have to learn to, right, ask for things, give those directions, and let people know how they've gone wrong, and retrain. And sometimes in that guilt and shame, right, you always feel bad when you have to do that, right? And that was kind of the same idea when I was urban exploration. I just didn't like asking for permission. It made the whole experience not fun for me. But here we are. We're still here. We found other ways to explore, and we still, on occasion, find those urban explorations. Okay, you guys, it is show and tell. I have a new collection, something I collect. I know I collect smalls, I collect Mother Nature, I collect crystals and rocks, and I happened on to 50 Buddhas. I bid it on an auction and I won 50 Buddhas. So I have a little bit of a collection for Buddhas. Oh yeah, my picture for forest and Mother Nature art by great artists, great pieces. I love my artwork. I really do. They're so me. I would try so hard to save them. Right? I would save my cat. I would save that art. I'm trying to think. There would probably be a couple of things like my survival bag. Yes, definitely. So those three pieces for sure, and my eclipse over my bed. They'll be under my arm. Oh, I have a dolly. I'd load the dolly up. I just throw all that into a bin, and I just put one bin on top of the dolly, and then I'd put another bin on top of the dolly, and then I put the paintings on top, but in between I would put my safety tub in there, and that's survival, right? I just go into the bush, and I can just set up camp, and I would be perfectly fine by till spring. I would be, right? Do I want to do it? No, it's going to be 40 below zero pretty soon. They just cleared the streets yesterday. The streets are pretty clear. They're really icy, but we're going into a warm spell now where we're going to be in the pluses in our Celsius, right? So they're saying +2, but it's already warming up, and it wasn't supposed to warm up yet. So they were cautious, like weatherman always is, a little bit overcautious, just to make sure that it wasn't 40 below zero, and they said it was going to be +5, right? So they said +2, but I think, yeah, it might get to +10. That would be pretty cool, right? They were even talking about rain for Christmas. They were. That would be a first for sure. I've never known Christmas to have rain. No, never. Not here in Manitoba. Okay, my new collection. I am collecting anime, everything anime. The little animals, I love the little animals, and that's what I started with the little smalls, the cats and dogs and stuff. But it's in anime is this Japanese art design. I'm not collecting the characters yet, but maybe I might if I'm collecting anime and it comes across my path. But I think gaming cards, I'll collect the gaming cards, I'll collect the art, I will collect the figures and the ornaments that go with this. And then, of course, the book. This book was $35, I think, if I'm looking at this right. I can't see right. Maybe $25. Right, for a paperback book. And it cost me 75 cents. And there's usually art. Oh yeah, and this one too. See, there's usually anime artwork in these books. Should send this book to Kathy and she could paint. Look at, I bet she could do it. I bet you could do an amazing job with that, couldn't you, Kathy? Right? It's just all in black and white. And you got out all your pencils and everything, and then you could do that. So that's the first thing, you guys, is an anime book. And if you've never popped into one of these lives before, we do show and tell every second week. Part of the plan will be being a little bit tighter, but I could talk more, and you guys will be proud of me, right? I don't live in a great big huge apartment. I don't need all this stuff. And for sure, and I have to find time over these 3 days that are supposed to be holidays to make sure that I have a donation bag equal to and twice as much, if possible, to go back to the store, right? So yeah, I'm going to cut down a little bit just for the fact that we are one of the items. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of luck, and a lot of buckling down. You guys, when I do the lessons, or what I'm watching thought leadership online, or I'm watching a conversation in a conference, maybe at a university or some seminar or something, I like quite often to jot notes. And I don't know if I like to jot the notes, but I'm always compelled when something inspires. I'll go, whoa, right? And I'll write it down. The book, and it's on every page. Like today, it was one of the astrologies. If you guys know it, OP. Oh my goodness, they eliminated one of the horoscopes. I don't know if you guys know anything about it. They eliminated one of the horoscopes, and it's OPHIUCHUS. And that was like Libra, Cancer, Leo. That was also one of the horoscopes. And because the Greeks wanted to have even alliances with each other when they were saying, like this, they eliminated that one. And they say that all Scorpios are actually Libras. I thought it was so interesting. I had to go and do a little research on this astrology sign because I had never heard of that before. I don't know if any of you guys heard of that one. OPHIUCHUS. And it's actually another horoscope sign, and they just, to their fancy, just eliminated it. So if you're a Scorpio, technically, you're actually probably a Libran. I'm a Libran. I know Andrew's a Libran too, aren't you, Andrew? I think because his birthday's a few days before mine. Okay. A little bit of the comments. I'm having a tooth crowned on the 30th. Otherwise would be at work between now and then. I want to do a lot of cleaning and organizing. Me too, Andrew. Me too. I wanted to buy a bin today so I could put all my work pants. Because I'm always looking for my work pants and they're always mixed with my hoodies and stuff. And I try to keep them all together. But they always end up on a stalk in a stack on top of my bin of winter socks. And it's important for me to have my bin of winter socks out in the open because I like to match my socks to the outfits that I'm wearing. I know, it's funny. I love winter socks. Great, big, thick, fluffy socks, right? I never walk around like they're so thick. They're like slippers, but I wear shoes anyway because I want to keep my feet in good shape. And because floors, especially in the apartment buildings I live in, are concrete underneath the tiling. So it's not good to walk around in bare feet on hard floors. And you'll end up messing your feet up bad. I almost did. And that experience afforded me the insight to take good care of my feet. That's one thing nobody accused me. I'll never not take good care of my feet. I'll wear inserts. I wear good shoes, good boots, right? I always think about my comfort and I won't wear anything that is uncomfortable. Okay, so I got 4 more doodlers, right? Great big thick ones. They're sectioned off into 3. Each one of these will easily last me a month, right? I doodle on or write notes on a page every day. One of these will last me in a month. And this one is so ratty. Look at things are falling out of it. What just fell out of it? What I'm not changing, I'm choosing. Oh, you guys, that one's so good. That one is so good. When you have problems, when you procrastinate in things, when you have addictions, right? When you're struggling, when you want to go on a diet, right? When you say you're going to clean your room or find bins or, right? What I'm not changing, I'm choosing. And it's part of why I do the donations. Yes, I want to give back, but I also do not want to be a hoarder, right? So I keep in that practice of always giving things back to work. And lots of times I buy things on a whim. Oh, they can come home with me. And then when I get home and I do these lives, I go, and you guys have probably seen me like, what did I buy that for? I wouldn't be surprised if something in here. Oh, I can see it right now. I just looked in the bag. This is the perfect example. You guys, this is going to be embarrassing. I saw this and I said, you can come home with me. Let's put it on. It's going to feel like I'm a droid. Is that druid? Is that not adorable? But did I need it? I didn't need it. But they're my horns, you guys. Aren't they so cute? Oh, they're just adorable. I think somebody made those, but they're so solid and they're so well done. Yeah, that's machine made for sure. But I loved it. Maybe I'll design a Halloween costume around it. Yeah, and be a droid. Ooh, a druid. And I have some pretty a Celtic or right. Those ones that what am I talking about when you had the fairies and you had the guy who was half horse and half man and right that era. I know it wasn't real, mystical. What we think about is realized, but yeah, I just love this. I really love this, but I didn't need it. And I could easily say, oh my goodness, that was like the silliest thing ever, Cindy. Put that back in the donation bag. And I do it almost every payday, right? And I go, oh my goodness, I don't wear these kind of earrings. What was I thinking? And then it goes back. Yeah. My my horns. Actually, maybe I'll wear them and then I'll smile at the end. And that will be my thumbnail. Oh, William's here too. Okay. It's amazing the things that are left behind in houses. I've seen some videos that show whole neighborhoods that are unoccupied. That's true too. Did you guys see the video of the they made in a big valley and all the mansions in this valley, they were building them and they were all castles. It was a whole neighborhood of castles, over 100 castles, right? And development stopped. So now all these castles are decaying and are abandoned. But also, it's really, really terrible when we talk about why I had a problem about going on property that wasn't mine. You know, what's going on with these castles in like Belgium and Switzerland. And there's some of these French chateaus that are abandoned and they're just being trashed. And like you said, like the furnishings, the paintings and stuff, like they're there and people are just I'm not sure if they're stealing them, but if they're willing to destroy them, right? What makes you think they wouldn't be willing to steal them too? So yeah, I'm not surprised by that at all. But hello, William. Welcome, welcome. Okay, next. Oh, I got this. This was brand new, you guys. It's in the package. But I bought another one and I love it. When I buy hamburger, I make my hamburger patties, and that's what it's for. You make your hamburger patties, and then you get these little discs, and then you put a little bit of hamburger on it, and then you put the next disc on, and you squish it down, and then you keep doing that until all your hamburger patties are done, right? See? Until all your hamburger patties are done. Then you take the other side off and you just push them all out and you wrap them up in cellophane and you put them in the freezer. And anytime you want a hamburger, you make yourself a hamburger. And then I saw this on the shelf for 50 cents. I know. I work with people who don't know how to price. I work so hard and trying to get everybody on the right track. And that makes me feel bad. But at the same time, right? I like to walk out of my store going, score every once in a while too. So for 50 cents, that really should have been $3.50. But it is what it is. I scored it. 50 cents it was. A little staff discount. It cost me 30 cents. They're sliders, you guys. They're not regular. They're not regular size hamburger. They're like the mini hamburgers. I don't know if you guys have sliders in the States, but here in Canada, sliders are pretty popular, right? And they usually give you 2 or 3 sliders with a few fries, and you just eat those as a meal at a fast food restaurant, right? Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. Okay, I'm gonna just put that there, take a sip of my coffee. That's true. I had a big problem with that, Andrew. Right? I just couldn't do it. I was changing at that time, and I really had a problem with being a bad person. I'm not that person, and I felt if I went on somebody's property, it would be like trespassing, right? It would be like trespassing. Well, it would be. It was trespassing, and I didn't want to be that person, right? So I can't apologize. I was kind of embarrassed that I couldn't do the job when I first stopped doing that back road exploration. I think now I wouldn't have the problem like I did when it comes to asking, because again, as you move forward, you can pick up lessons along the way, and I think I probably have a little bit more confidence that I could ask and get permission, lots of times, but it was so scary to ask people if I could go. I remember some guy he was working in his farm field, but in his farm field was this one room schoolhouse. I really wanted to go check out the one room schoolhouse, and I was going through a phase of the one room schoolhouses. I found them so interesting, right? And yeah, and I remember asking him, and he was just so, "Oh, go ahead." He says, "But just keep in mind, you got to be careful, right? Don't get hurt. I'm not coming back, right?" Because he was on his way out of the field then, right? And I said, "Oh, I won't," and I was so excited. And there was nothing more exciting than getting permission to go explore a place. When I decided I didn't want to do that anymore, I took the video off. But I'm sure all of you guys saw it. It was the one with Meatball, the kittens in that house. I took that one down because that one was a true trespass. It was. I didn't understand it at the time. Yes, it was an abandoned house. It had everything left behind. It was a super interesting explore. I absolutely loved it, but there was paraphernalia from a farming company, big one here in Canada, all over the kitchen area. So they were kind of using the building as a lunchroom, maybe, while they were working in the fields. And they're not really supposed to. They're leasing the land for the farming. And I guess maybe the barns, if the barns are usable for the tractors and all the plows and all that stuff, right? But the houses and stuff, I'm not sure if they had permission to be in there. And but I recognized then that even though the house was abandoned, the property was not abandoned, because this big company had the rights to it, right? And was working the land, and had leased the land for farming and cultivating, right? And it was a big, big corporation too. One of the biggest corporations, not just in the country, but in the whole world, right? So one of the big ones, Patterson's and Sons, right? They're the ones that feed the world, right? We get those grains, and we make those harvests, and we freight them out in different ways. They're involved in shipping and trains, and right. So that was a wake up call for me, and I said, yeah, this is not the person I am. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not, right? I can't do this. I'm not getting into trouble, right? So I stopped doing it, unless it was clear that I could get a permission, or there was somebody there that I could quickly talk to. I would drum up the instant nerve to get it done. But like I said, things are different now. It has been a few years that I've been straight into it, it would be different now. I think I could probably ask confidently and maybe get those permissions in that, right? Okay. Uh Here in Bloomington, some people were exploring a closed down movie theater and the police showed up because there were motion activated alarms. Really? Like, oh my goodness, I would be so humiliated. I would be so mortified by that. Not for me, right? Again, so to give you a guys a sense of feeling as to why I backed away from that urban exploration the way that I did. And that was and I was embarrassed, right? I just blamed it on other reasons, my situation, COVID, whatever it was. I just didn't. But that was my decision, and I was actually relieved. But I was creative, right? And I was going through experiences that was changing me. So I just said, well, okay, here we go. We don't know where this is going to go, but I do know, I do believe, right? Let's get this thing off, right? I do believe that this is going somewheres, right? The evidence that you guys come and hang out with me, right? It gives me that encouragement. I would probably, right? I am pretty determined. I'd probably show up even if nobody was here, but it sure is nice to have company. Okay, let's dig into the bag, you guys. Oh my goodness, I forgot I grabbed this. I'm so excited. It's old. It's really old. I don't know what it is. I'm taking a guess that it was some kind of plant stand. But look at this, you guys. Definitely very, very old. Is that crazy? Look at it. I'm thinking it's cast iron. That's what this is. It's cast iron. So being cast iron, we're looking late 1800s to even present. I mean, it could be present, right? It could have sat in somebody's garden and they just let it weather. But no, you can take a look at the screw on the bottom. It's an old one. So I'm thinking somewheres between 1890 and I'll say 1910 or 20 with that one. But for $2.50, so $2 with my staff discount, that's pretty cool, right? I'm going to do a little research just to make sure before I spray paint it because it has to be this cream white, right? This is why I'll get it. I'll give it a good scrub with an SOS pad to get any rust or anything off of it. And then I will seal it in a paint and primer spray paint in a nice cream color. And I think it will be a spectacular piece for my house. Somebody dragged it around for a long time. You like that, Kathy? Look at it's I don't know what those are. Fairies or Greek Greek Greek. I don't know. We're gonna have to do a little bit of research on that, aren't we? But being cast iron, I don't think it could be much earlier than the 1890s. I think that's when it just started being popular and because of the screw too, right? So thank you. Thank you for confirming that I have good taste. I think I have good taste, but I think that's what I'm going to do. If there's no value in it, if there's value, I don't like to change things, right? Because it decreases the value and its collectability. But if there isn't any value, yeah, it's going to be a nice piece when I'm finished it. I'll show you guys what it is. Brand new socks, Calvin Klein socks. Um, for summer and for spring and fall in my light socks, I was doing bobby socks. So I filled up an entire recycle bag. I threw every single bobby sock I owned into the recycle bag, and they were all Nike and Puma and just really, really nice socks that I spent a couple of years collecting at work. But I didn't like wearing them. They were always rolling down underneath my feet and stuff. I don't like bobby socks, so I just wanted to go back to regular socks. But you don't get as many, right, donated. And these were out of package, brand new packages. So yeah, they were only $1 with this little staff discount, 70 cents, right? So yeah, I got some socks there. I might have even gotten a couple of pairs of socks there. What else did I get? Oh, for when I'm out on the road, you guys, it's just a little thing where I can put sauces and crackers and cheese, whatever. Just a little container for when I go out onto the road. And it was only 50 cents, and of course a little staff discount. So it was only 30 cents. But for 50 cents, you guys, I thought that was so adorable. And I really like these kitchen containers that have the snaps that go on the side, right? They never come undone. They're solid and they're really easy to open up, right? I'm not sure if I could put fluids in them. I wouldn't try anyway. But yeah, you have the other containers for the fluids and the sauces. So amazing. Yeah, I'm happy for that for 50 cents. What else is in here? Oh, my sister's Christmas basket was the only thing. I had everything for her basket. I just didn't have the basket. So my sister's Christmas present. Where are you? How do you get out of there? Oh, there you are. My sister's Christmas present, I'm going to do her a basket. So I'll put fluffy stuff or whatever in here. And then I'll put all of her things all in here. And then I'll cover it all up in cellophane. But I bought this, and this was $1.50. So $1 with my staff discount. It is, oh, you can't really see it on my camera, but it's really pretty mauve ribbon with wire in it. So I'm just going to really do a nice job and decorate my sister's Christmas basket. She got a whole bunch of little things. It's hard to please my sister Alice because she's a little bit of an it girl, but she lets me know what she likes. So I keep my eye open for those little things. And then I just add little things that I think she needs in her life. Okay, what else do I have here? Oh, I got something wrapped up. What is this? Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this. Wait till you see this. Hello, Nancy. Merry Christmas. Look at. I just love it. They're like trees, but they're not trees. They're for flowers, you guys. It's a vase. Is that just not the most spectacular thing you ever saw? And it's the color minus this one, the green one here. They're the color of my kitchen. So maybe I'll just turn it around that way because that'll look nice with my orange. Maybe I'll put an orange vase right here or something. So I don't know. I didn't care. I loved it. If it's a bathroom item, it's a bathroom item, right? I already have the color scheme for the bedroom all sorted out. I just need the bedroom. We're going with yellow and grays in the bedroom. We're going for orange, blue, and white for the kitchen and dining room. And we are going Mother Nature in my living room. And we are going in wood in my office area. But I need these things. Right? I think it's on. I'll let you know January 1st for sure. Right? Because I know if I put so much on my plate, I won't be able to accomplish it all. Yesterday was our staff Christmas party at work. So we just right had chit chats at work and we ordered dinner and we hung out together for a little while. One of our customers gave us a box of mandarins, so my boss just split up all the mandarins and everything for everybody. So I like mandarins. I've got some oranges on my kitchen counter, but my mother used to say, "Look at an orange," and I poop myself. So, so I was sick a couple of weeks back. So I'm easing myself into the fruits. I think about as close as I've gotten so far is my grape juice. Right. We have to introduce some fruits this weekend and some vegetables. Okay, you guys, we've cleared one bag here. What do we do next? This one here. And then I have my granny wagon. I didn't think I was going to have a lot, but I won a second round, right? At work, some good things came in, and plus I'm eyeing things out for little extras, right? Little extras for the Christmas presents and stuff. So keeping my eye open for things. I found a little something here for my brother-in-law. I'll give that to my sister so she can get that in his stocking. And then I don't think you guys need to see my work pants, so we'll just put my work pants right there. as I keep putting stuff there. Oh, I love the fabric bags. Like the ones like people make. They sew them out of fabric, and these make great grocery bags and durable. And it just every once in a while you throw them in the washing machine. They're so much better than all those recycle bags. So now when I go to the grocery store, I'll have my granny wagon and my two because I have another fabric bag, a nice big one. So I have two of them now. So now I don't need to have all these recycle bags in my house, right? I think I'm good to go. And I just thought maybe right? That yeah, I should throw another one of those in somebody else's, right? Somebody else might appreciate that. Okay, a sip of my coffee. Oh, awesome, Nancy! I'll go check it out after the live show. Nancy's Christmas special is up on her channel already. Oh my goodness, that's awesome. Okay. One of these came in a couple of months ago. I absolutely love them. They're a perfect glass for me, but there was only one. And I said, well, that's okay. It's the same color as what I want for my kitchen and dining room, the blues or the blues and the oranges and the whites, right? I'll just take the one. Well, last week, two more of the same glasses came in, so I bought them both. So now I have three of them. Aren't those glasses amazing? I don't know. As glasses, for my taste, as glasses go, I think that's a perfect glass. And it wasn't even used. Nice heavy glass base on those, right? You can just see they haven't even seen one dishwasher or anything. They're just in lovely shape. So yeah, I got two drinking glasses. Because we know Cindy drinks lots of fluids. Not. Cindy is doing better at drinking fluids. Yes, I think I am in choosing the fluids. Usually I like um my diet zero Coke. Um but this year they right, it's not good for you to drink that pop. That's what everybody says. I don't know. I don't see I have a problem with the pop except for the fact that I drink lots of it. But when it's my health, right? When I have health issues, that's when I start eliminating things, right? I was 311 pounds. I eliminated candy, right? It worked. So, of course, I'm not going to consistently eat candy, even though it is the one time a year that I do allow myself the treats of candy. And it's one of those things where I fall back on that I'm able to get right back on the bandwagon. Actually, another thing I can get right back on the bandwagon because I love peanut butter, you guys. You guys know that peanut butter, the way I eat it, causes inflammation in my body. It does. And so I try to say no to peanut butter for lots of reasons because if I don't have the peanut butter, I won't buy the bread, right? And so I'll cut back on the bread I eat, but I love peanut butter. If you said you could only have 2 meals for the rest of your life, no question, peanut butter would have to be one of them, right? Because obviously the proteins, right? Um, and then also it'd have to be turkey dinner because turkey dinner is my favorite. I'm not sure if I'm going to buy a turkey just to make it for myself, especially when I know I'm only going to eat the breast meat. I'm not going to eat any other part of the turkey. And I don't know anybody. Well, maybe the gentleman that I work with, I can box it all up and he would appreciate it. Yes, he would. So maybe I'll buy a turkey because I do love turkey dinner. And, over the past few years, there haven't been a lot of turkey days for us, have we? Right? We're just starting, I think, to feel festive. I've seen that in the customers. Everybody buying decorations, everybody wishing people Merry Christmases and going out for coffee and having this. It's all right. It's all coming back. It's not being squelched in that. I really love this. So I said, it has to come home with me. And it won't be something I'm donating back to work, right? It's the coolest summer scarf or spring scarf. It's not really a winter scarf. I've seen people wear them in the winter, right? But isn't that pretty? Or you can wear it tight and hanging down your belly, and I'll find different ways to wear it, right? But I just love the little tassels on it, and I love the blues, right? I nothing I love better than a cowl. I love the cowls. And it was with my staff discount $1.25 for my scarf. So that goes in my laundry pile there. Remember what I said about the colors in my bedroom being gray and yellow? Well, I got a little blanket for the end of the bed. Look at it's gray and yellow. How pretty will that be just laid out at the bottom of my bed for those really cold nights? I won't need it. I have a magnificent quilt. It's in its bag now. I saved my quilt, right? I know what it looks like if I were to open up the bag, then it's probably all shredding and stuff inside, but you would never know it in how well the new duvet is holding it all together. But yeah, for $4 and a little staff discount, so 350. And somebody knitted that, right? And it's a lovely little knitted blanket, and it's perfect for my bedroom, right? I think the only thing that I need for my bedroom now is my console dresser. It has to be a console. It has to be white, and it has to have nice, easy, smooth sliding drawers. Right? I'm saved. This spot right here in front of me is saved for that dresser. It's the last piece of furniture that would ever be able to fit in my apartment, right? But yeah, and then two lamps. Two lamps, maybe two end tables. But right, the end tables I can pick up anytime. Anytime. Okay, you guys, I think I'm just going to throw that in there. What's all this? Oh, that. Okay. Oh, so we're going to throw that one in that one. Okay. Oh, I thought this was pretty neat. It was $1.50. It was $1.50, and I've been seeing these advertised on TV because I'm farsighted and nearsighted. My astigmatisms are pretty wonky in my glasses, right? And at our ages, our prescriptions are constantly in a state of change, isn't it? And so these glasses were on Instagram being advertised, and they are the adjustable eyeglasses. They have little dials here on the sides, and each eye you can adjust. It's so amazing. I haven't tried them on yet. I'm not going to do it now. I'll let you know how they work. They do not look like they're high end or anything, but they're exactly what they were advertising on TV. And I'll let you know if they work. If they're not super high end, maybe they would be fairly inexpensive, right? Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know next week or Christmas Eve how they worked, right? Sometimes these glasses are really good because I am so wonky in that eyesight, but it's when I'm reading, right? Because I can't have part of the page close to me and part of the page far away from me, right? So I'd much rather have it all the same at that point, and that would mean a different prescription, even though this prescription was supposed to do that. But because it doesn't have nose guards and doesn't sit properly on my face, I'm just able to use them for my farsightedness for much case. Meaning I'm not bumping into walls. That's what they do for me, right? I don't bump into walls, and I can read if I get up real close. And we're going to stop and give some good cheer to the fire truck. Hope they get to their destination. And it's a false alarm. I really love my glasses. I really love my glasses. I'm glad now I have 3 of them. If I can get one more, I would be really happy. Okay, what else do I? Oh, you guys, this is amazing. This just might be my best score this payday. I should have cleaned it before I showed you, but I forgot that I purchased it. It's machine age, 1930s. You might recognize it for what it is. Let's see if anybody knows what it is. I'll show you. I'll open it. And let's see if anybody can guess what it is. I know what it is, but you guys tell me what you think it is. Okay, here it is. And I'll get up real close so you can see it. It's a heavy metal. The sides are chromed up, stainless steel, button on the bottom, right? You can see that Art Deco style. See the Art Deco styling in the piece? Okay. Now let's open it up. You guys, tell me what it is. Let's see who's the smarty pants. You might figure it out. Is it not neat? Look at the rollaway top on that. Is it not amazing the way it rolls out? I checked out the value online. They go for about $60. This one cost me $1 with my staff discount because somebody doesn't know what this thing is or even that it's an antique, and it's solid. Like I could drop this on the ground and it would not break. It might ding. Probably wouldn't even dent, right? No idea? Come on. Anybody have a little inkling? You should at least try. Use your intuition. Oh, Oh, Kathy, that is pretty awesome. Pretty close, but no cigar. But you're right on line with it. I mean, I guess you could use it as an ashtray if you wanted to, but it's actually meant for rolled cigarettes and wood matches. Isn't it amazing? I just love this piece. If I had a desk, I would have my business cards in there. And they say, oh, can I have a business card? And I go, oh, sure you can. Doo-doo. There you go. Right? What nice, good quality. I don't know who made it. I have to do a little bit more research on it. But definitely Art Deco table case for matches and cigarettes. Yeah, I thought it was pretty nice. I think I've seen something a little bit similar because my dad was a smoker too. But my dad pretty much just stuck to his Reno, and he liked the casino ashtrays because every time he went to the casino, he was always bringing those ashtrays home, right? Even when he passed away, I think there was still some of those ashtrays kicking around. Okay. What do we got here? Oh, I thought this was cute. But stupid. I don't need it. Really silly. Cindy, it's going right back to work. But this is what I do. I buy things in the moment because they catch my fancy. And it caught my fancy. Look at. They're cupcakes. Cupcakes. Scented erasers. I don't even use pencils, you guys. But they were colorful cupcakes. Oh, but right? Cindy had to have them. Right? So they end up coming home with me. So this one will just get thrown on the chair there because that just goes right back in the donation bag and goes back to work, right? That's why they were cute, and that's why I grabbed them. They were cute. I don't even use pencils, and what would I do with them? They're not a living creature, so it's not like I can put them in there with my smalls or anything. They would just be taking up space. It's like if this turns out to be a silly hoax, because obviously I'm not going to be wearing them in public. Because look how funny they are. They have like 2 or 3 lenses on there that you adjust, right? So it's not something you wear in public, but when sitting at home and I want to read a novel, how amazing would that be if I could just adjust, and especially if my prescription changes a little bit, that I can adjust it myself. Yeah. You guys know that I collect brooches. I have a few collections, but brooches are one of them. And there was this little Campbell soup girl, right, with the umbrella brooch. So I grabbed that for 50 cents. Okay, here we go. Whoopsie. I grabbed this. You can't have enough video holders. And especially when you're in the car and stuff, they don't always work. And because I always use the big phones, I like the Pros. They are much bigger and they are heavier. That they don't always sit well when you're out on the road, when you're driving. They don't always stay stabilized. So I'm willing to try new ones and in different types of class. And this one is actually a screw-on clamp. So I thought, well, maybe next time when I go on the trip, we'll try this one for 50 cents, right? You can come home with me. This is what I do. I'm at work. People just laugh at me when I'm at work. I find something, I go, oh, you can go home with me. And they just laugh every time I do that. But it was wrapped up in a skirt, a nice purple mauvey wine color. skirt. I like to wear skirts over my tights. Um, uh, it's good when I'm at work. When I bend over, I don't want my butt hanging in the air and stuff. So if I'm wearing a skirt over my pants, right, I can bend over comfortably. So I don't have many skirts, but I wear them when I do have them. I wear my skirt all the time. Yeah, good guesses. You guys caught that right away. Yeah, you guys caught that right away. That was pretty good. This was pretty neat, you guys. Wow, somebody put a $2 price tag on it. And you guys know I collect tiles. I don't know if I could bear to put this in with all the tiles that I have because it's so magnificent. Look at it, it's a signed piece. It's a slate tile with an Inuit carving on it. Isn't it amazing? And with my discount, it cost me like $1.50. Like where would I be able to get something like that for say less than $100? You wouldn't be able to. This is artwork, right? Can you imagine how many hours somebody put into carving that out, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was pretty excited when I saw that. When I saw that on the shelf. Okay, did I leave anything behind in this bag or just a quick? Oh, I just grabbed this for my sister. It was only a quarter. She does Alice in Wonderland, so I just got her an old key for a quarter. I don't know. Every time I find it, every time I see an old key, I think of my sister. So I says, and she every time she finds a dime, she thinks of my mom. So I says, oh, that's a good way. Every time I see a key, I'll just grab it for my sister Alice, right? That she know I'm thinking of her. Okay, you guys, we just have the granny wagon left. Oh, this is just a 6-foot seat connector. It's a 6-foot cord. It's a really long cord, but it's what I use for charging my phones, and my laptop runs on a seat connector. I have lots of the items that I have when it comes to my electronics uses seat connectors, and they're usually very expensive, even on a 3-foot cord. And this one is definitely at least 6 feet long. So I grabbed that for $1, so 70 cents with my staff discount. Um, this was neat. I love this. I forgot I had these. These are amazing. Um, this is a little fence for like a tree house. It's for a dollhouse, right? But they had a whole bunch, a big bin full of doll furniture and stuff. And for 50 cents, you can grab things out of it. So I grabbed a few things because I thought when I go out to the forest, lots of times I go for walks in the forest, and at the bottom there's these stumps or there are rotted pit holes and stuff. And I thought, oh, how cute. I could make like a little hobbit house out of that, right? And then I got my little tree ladder. I got a little mailbox. I got a little lamppost. I got a little bookshelf. I got a few items that I thought, wouldn't that be neat if I could do that out on the trail somewheres? And then if people walk by the trail, they might see the little, right? And maybe I could make it in a way that an actual critter might want to live in it. I never tried it before. Thought maybe, hey, for a few dollars, it might be fun. It might be a video, right? When I get it done, I'll 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 uh, I'll I'll do a video on it. Okay. When the fortune telling cards come in, I usually grab them. They're usually $2 or $2.50. I will grab them because if you have 5 of them, you can move those along, right? And I usually will buy these and I will give them to my sister because she recognizes that you can move it along for a few dollars, and especially if you have 5 decks, right? So that's usually what I do is I'll buy them and then I'll give them to my sister and she'll sell them, right? So I got two more decks here. So I've got another 5 decks put together, I think now. But yeah, they come into the store all the time. Oh, these are beautiful. I got some smalls, you guys. I got some smalls. These are really cute. There are 3 smalls. And I have a few of these in my cabinet already, but not little ceramic ones. I got little penguins. I got 3 of them, 3 little penguins, and I'm gonna take them. And I take them, I put them in the water with a little bit of soap and a touch drop of bleach, and I give them a little rubby dubby, and I rinse them off, and then I put them on the top of my computer, and I let the sun go on them for a few days, and then I introduce them to the rest of. Oh my goodness, there were 4 of them. There's another one, the little baby one. So yeah, I got four penguins here. And then I got something made of glass here. Oh, is this ever nice? Wow. Besides my Buddha, I have no beings. Oh, I have a fairy, a little pewter fairy in my smalls case. But I don't have any humans. Look at what I got. I got a little glass Eskimo. Oh, you're not supposed to say Eskimo. Eskimo is inappropriate. I didn't know if you guys knew that. It was something I recently learned that the name Eskimo was inappropriate. Uh, the name they like to go by is Inuit, right? And I try to remember that now when I talk about them. But every once in a while it slips because we all, right? We don't mean to, but we all in the end quite often will make the mistake of stereotyping. They did a really good job on that piece of glass. That must have been really hard to do. So, my little Inuit. Oh, and the word Eskimo means, and this is why they don't like the name. The name Eskimo means people who eat raw fish. And so, yeah, they're not. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Kathy, that I would, and I got a few cute purses. I think most of them I put them in my purse because they were small, and I think I got 3 or 4 package of different things for the doll houses, and I thought I would try to do one. I've seen them before. I've seen there are certain trails in some cities where they give a small space where the kids can make these little houses and hang them from the trees, or they can actually decorate the trunks as long as they're not digging nails and stuff into them. So we'll see. We'll see. It's going to be spring. I won't. It's not going to be something I'm going to be doing in the winter. I didn't realize it. I had all summer, you guys, to find a winter jacket. I didn't know I needed a winter jacket. My zipper broke on my hood on my jacket. It really wasn't a very good jacket to start with, but it had the hood, which made it pretty good because I love the hood on that jacket, right? But finally, last week, a jacket did come in. I don't know how good it will be for winter, but I'm going to give it a shot. It's big enough at the very least that I can wear a hoodie underneath. And you guys know that I love my hoodies anyway. So I'm willing to give that a shot. We're coming down to our last couple of items here. I can feel at the bottom of, oh, there's another ladder. So I grabbed two of those little ladders. So But those other pieces, they're in my oh, maybe not. I grabbed something here. Oh, yeah, here. There's one of the little shelves I grabbed. Isn't that cute? It's a little wall shelf with a plate and a little glass or coffee cup or something on that. So I thought that would be pretty cute if I could I would probably mount it with tree sap. That's what I would do is I would put a big gob of tree sap where I wanted it, and I would just squish this right into the tree sap, and the tree sap would hold it in place. That's a good idea. Yeah, so I got the little shelf. Like I said, I got a mailbox and I got a little light post, and I can't remember, right? But I can make little curtains, and yeah, you never know. Let me just dig in there to see if there's anything else or if I got it all. Yeah, you guys. That's it a Rooney. Oh my goodness, we did it. Yeah, that was awesome. But like I said, I think this is my favorite piece. I just love it's kind of machine age, isn't it? Being all metal. It's kind of machine age. But that scroll top is amazing. And look at that beautiful chrome. That beautiful chrome inside. I don't think it was ever used as an ashtray because you can see the chrome is just perfect. Yeah, that's never had a butt sit in there. That would be covered in tar for sure. At the very least, you would feel the tar in the roof of the screen. And actually, the roof is a different kind of metal than on the top. Interesting. Yeah, you can't really see underneath, but I just loved it. I walked into work and I walked down the aisle and I spotted it immediately. When I turned it over and I saw $1.50, I just laughed because I knew at least $50. And then when I did a quick Google Lens, they're around $60. They're worth about $60. But that was an exceptional nice one compared to the other ones that were $60. Okay. So, your plans for the holiday. I know Nancy's opening up her apartment for her layout, for her train layout. She's also got a video out, you guys. So if you wanted to go visit Nancy on her channel and give her some love, I'll be going in there tonight and check out Nancy's video. Nancy, do you want to slip in the link to your video and everybody can just kind of link into it because we'll be ending our live right? If they wanted to, they could hop in and watch your video or save it to their watch later list, right? So that when they have a free minute, they could come in and watch your video. Yeah. And then leave a comment if you want to, right? If not, lots of times I go in and I watch videos and I know it's important being in the industry, right? Working in social media, it's important to have those interactions with each other. And I go in and I take in my lessons. It's amazing, amazing gifts passed on to me, through the amazing thought leadership that's being shared out there. And I don't always comment, right? Because I read the comments quite often. I read what's being contributed, but sometimes I feel that it makes you easily trackable, right? That you could be tracked down very easily just by that interaction. And I did have a bad interaction in my very first uh when I first started going online and I started following some of the people that were in thought leadership, but in the off time they had other interests which were totally so out of my character, and I ended up with somebody who just was constantly messaging me and telling me what they wanted to do to me and stuff. And I just said, like, yeah, I just cannot leave comments sometimes because you don't know how people are going to take those comments, if they're going to take it the way that they were meant, or if they're going to put their own spin on it and their own perspective and take it the wrong way. And also, who you're going to bump into out there, right? This week, I'm learning a lot about discernment and discernment. It seems it's been something that's been in my life. It's been a way that I've moved. As of recently, I've just called it like reading energy, right? But I read the energy to come to the truth, to come to conclusions, to weed through the falsehoods and to see where the truths lie. And it's not what I perceived the word to mean when any time before the past few months. Like I always thought like discernment means, really think twice before you open up your mouth, Cindy, right? This is the way it was drilled into me, and it's given me some thought in this past week or so since the word came across my path, and I delved into it again and got the true definition of it, that I actually was able to go back into my childhood and go back to some of those dynamic relationships, like with my mom and stuff, right? And to actually read into it a little bit better. Because, being someone who is discerning, I bet you I asked a lot of questions. I bet you that's why my mother always said, because I said so, because I was just saying, why, why, all the time. And I was just driving her crazy with the why, right? That in the end, all I got was, right? Because I told you so. Yeah, interesting. Okay, did Nancy throw her link down? Let's just come down there a little bit. Everybody was pretty close. Yeah, everybody was pretty close on that one piece. And it might not be anything special to anybody else, but it's up my alley. I love the Art Deco the Art Deco era. Number one, and number two, right? 1930s, another 10 years. That's going to be considered a true antique, right? So the value is just naturally going to go up in that. Number three, they don't make ashtrays anymore, I don't think. Have you guys seen anybody who makes ashtray unless they're making it out of clay? No, people are just buying their ashtrays out of secondhand stores, or they're using old grandpa's ashtrays, or they're using like the coffee cup saucers or the teacup saucers, or right. They're not making ashtrays like they used to. It's just cigarette smoking is just not going to be the norm for too much longer, I don't think. Yeah, it's on its way out, and right, the results are coming in to the benefits that the world has seen from people giving up cigarettes. Yeah, I quit smoking. Oh my goodness. I can't even remember. It was at least 25 years ago that I quit smoking. And I quit smoking the first time I tried to quit smoking. My sister put the patch, the patch just came out. And I guess I kind of offhandedly said, "Oh, I'd love to quit smoke." I was always, this is my last cigarette. I'm going to get up in the morning, never going to have another cigarette, right? And for half the time that I smoked, I didn't even inhale. It was only towards the end when things started getting bad again that I just started inhaling. And the next thing you know, I'm smoking a pack of Rolly cigarettes every single day. Because remember, I was also a compulsive gambler, and that contributed to the cigarette smoking, right? And it was a lot of those new laws that the government set in that you couldn't smoke in public spaces, no more smoking in the restaurant. And again, managing and supervising restaurants and nightclubs and bars, I was always walking around with a cigarette hanging from my face, right? And my sister gave me three, three boxes of each step, and there are three steps. So 9 boxes of the um, those kits that bring you down from your nicotine slowly, the patch. And I quit smoking. I never went back to smoking after that. It was the easiest thing to do. The only time I was ever cranky is when I finished my 3 kits and I had to step down into the next kit. And the next kit had less nicotine in it. So you would usually be cranky for 24 hours, but it was still easy not to smoke cigarettes, not to even want the cigarettes being on the patch, right? Because you always had just enough nicotine. I finished, I think, all of the patches except for one box of patch. So my third set of patches, but the third one I didn't bother taking because I had already known that I was never going to have another cigarette, and I never had another cigarette ever again after that. And I tribute my sister. My sister did that for me, right? I was too cheap with my money. Again, you got to remember I was a VLT addict, so those boxes of patches are like $30 a pack, right? $100 for each set or something. They were really, really expensive. I know that. I would never have spent that money on the patches. I would have continuously gone to bed at night saying, "This is my last cigarette." But guaranteed, I would have woken up in the morning, and the first thing I would have done is make a cup of coffee and light up a cigarette. And I probably would have lit the cigarette before I even had my first cup of coffee, guaranteed. Okay, you guys. Oh, Kathy quit 25 years ago, too. How many times did you try before you quit, Nancy? Yeah, when it came to my addictions, it's kind of weird with my addictions because they would just set in and they would be set in before I even realized that it had become a habit. And then they would stick around for a few years and then they would cause their damage because they always cause damage. And then it would just stop. Like when I did halls for 3 years, I did like 9 packages of halls every single day. I didn't suck on these halls. If you don't know what halls are, they're like cough drops. I got hooked on the eucalyptus of the cough drops. And I did that for like 3 years. I ruined my teeth. Oh my goodness. Right? And then I had to I knew it was the eucalyptus because it was that closed, cold feeling that it gave me that woke me up, right? That's what I was addicted to, and that was the eucalyptus. So I looked for other forms of eucalyptus that wouldn't be as damaging as the hulls, and that happened to be the Vicks rub, right? Vapor rub. And I would rub that stuff inside my nose. Now, remember, I was married at the time. So I smelt like I had a cold all the time. I smelt like Vicks Vapor Rub for probably a couple of years of my marriage, right? And, but it worked. And I went through that and I let that go. I let that go too. I was addicted to crunching ice. Oh, off and on. That was off and on. Whenever I had access, if I worked in a restaurant that had good crunchy ice, I could go to town on that. But I got addicted to crunching ice, and I had to forbid myself from eating. I have a very addictive personality. But like I said, these addictions would show up, do their damage, and then they would just disappear. And it wasn't like that I would have to work hard to end the addiction. I would just have to make that movement and it would be a done deal. You're done with that one. I got addicted to payday loans, right? Because of my VLT addiction. And it was a way of paying off my debt and staying afloat. And I don't give myself credit for that one because that was a hard one, right? Because that meant I had to pay all those payday loans and have to go without. So I don't remember how I did it, how I was able to pay off those loans or wean myself off all those loans, right? But I did. And my biggest addiction, my entire life that I had, food addiction, right? That was my comfort. That was, right? You telling me that I can't have that donut? Well, I'll go get a job, 10 years old. I'll go get a job and I'll have money and I'll go buy my own diet donuts. And that's exactly what I did. And you can see the way I talked and said that started very early. It must have started by the time I was 10 or 11 years old, right? And being on diets and off diets consistently. It all depended on how the money was flowing in the household because usually being on a diet was pricey because fruits and vegetables and meat are expensive. And at that time, Kraft dinner was very, very cheap. My mom could keep all the kids on Kraft dinner. That would be amazing. Mind you, my dad wouldn't have liked that because he was a meat and potatoes kind of guy, right? But yeah, addictions were kind of funny. I'm not saying were kind of funny because they are, because that addiction can pop up. I have to pay very close attention to my habits because it's in my habits that I'm going to find myself in another addiction 100%. So I pay attention. I try really hard not to let things dig in. And then sometimes to avoid something bad. Sometimes I'll purposely put a habit in place to make things better. Like the habit of setting my alarm for 7 o'clock every single morning. Right? I've been doing that for a half a dozen years now. Oh my goodness, it was one of the best things I could have done for myself is just waking up in the morning. And I don't always get up at 7 o'clock on that dot, but that alarm goes off at 7 o'clock in the morning. And I have that option whether to hit that snooze, which I never do, right? Or to hit the alarm off and maybe go back to sleep for another hour, or to lay in bed in contemplation for an hour, or turn that alarm and get out of bed and start my day. I used to be somebody while working in bars and nightclubs. I was going to bed 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. When I was married, I was going to bed when my husband was getting up in the morning to go to work. And we'd spend a little bit of time together. I'd make his coffee and make his lunch for work while he was getting ready, right? And I'd send him off to work. And then when I sent him off to work, I would crawl off to bed and I would get out of bed like a half an hour or an hour before it was time for him to get home, right? The only time that I could actually sleep as late as I wanted is when he went out in the field. He was in the military, so he quite often was able to go off out into the field and I'd be able to sleep as late as I want, which is usually 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. But best thing I ever did was set the alarm for 7 o'clock in the morning. If you guys have a problem in getting out of bed, getting motivated in the morning, yeah, it only took me a couple of weeks to move into that routine and it served me really, really well. You have an addictive personality then. Oh, there's Melvin. Yakking away again. He's always telling me that I'm yakking. I am a yacker. I am. I've always been a yacker. I really have. And I am grateful for being a yacker because I could very easily have been a wallflower. I could have easily been introverted and shy or reclusive or intimidated by the world. And I'm grateful, right? A lot of lessons come across my path. Lots of them in my upbringing and in my childhood, sometimes in those resilience of what you have to go through, right? But lots of times it's just, I don't know. It's just wanting to be seen and wanting to be heard, right? To say, hey, I was here. And I was here again. It's Sunday, you guys. And it's time for us to call it a night. Wednesday night, 7 p.m. I'm going to my sister's at 3:30, 4 o'clock. I'll be home by 6:30, so I'll have time enough to make a cup of coffee and get into my pajamas. I stopped off at the liquor store today. I didn't go inside, but I stopped and I stood in front of the store and I says, "Do I want to have cocktails on Christmas Eve? What kind of alcohol do I want?" And I says, "Cindy, right now all you want is a cup of coffee." I came in the door and I made myself a cup of coffee before I went live. And so now I'm content in that. Now I'm thinking, oh, Cindy, what do you want for Christmas Eve, right? Tomorrow I'm going off to visit a family who have been very kind to me over the years. We have become friends. They're very different from me. They are a very Christian family. I have let them know. I don't know if they really get when I say I'm more spiritual than religious, right? Or they're just challenged by that and they call what they call it messaging? No, they call it. Oh, I forgot what they told me what it was. He gave me the definition of it, and it's when it's not when you it's ministering. They're ministering, right? They're trying to turn me into a Christian, right? You could try. I am who I am. I think if I was rooted in that direction, it would have happened. I would have slipped into it very easily in the past 6 years. But that's just not the way I moved. And I have to be honest in the way that I move. I can't pretend to be that I'm somebody that I'm not. And I don't think that I am a follower that way. Right? I'm not. And I believe in God. I believe in the greater. Oh my goodness, right? I have seen the evidence myself, but I can't say for sure, right? And I honestly have to be honest in that. And I think if it was meant to be another way, it would have happened by now, right? And the fact that it hasn't happened, that I am left to my free choice as to, right? It's only up to me to make sure that that evidence is coming across my path. Because one thing that I can tell you, the most important thing is that you do believe, right? That you do believe in something, right? And to each one of us, we get to decide, we get to make those choices. And I think that's part of the story of me, right? That I can make this movement, I can be the person that I am and just be as relevant as somebody who is religious or is super spiritual, right? Right? Yeah, but I'm grateful for my friends. They take me for how I am, but it doesn't stop them from ministering, right? And it's just like when I was hanging out with the people from the Middle East, they related to me too, and they tried to sway me. Believe me, they tried to sway me into Islam and that too, right? But I didn't, even though I felt the hearts and I really felt that connection with it, I didn't feel that that's the way I was supposed to move in any way, right? There's a certain type of person that's very attracted to my energy. They show up in my life constantly. They call them walk-ins, right? And these are people I think that are souls that come to the surface because what was at the surface has given up, right? And so um a story for another time, but right, they've given permission for that story and that experience to be expressed, as long as they didn't have to express it. And then, right, whoever or whatever, right, gets an opportunity to utilize, right? And I think this is the idea where we wear humans as clothing, but it's not always the case. It's very rarely the case, because in the moment, right, there's not a lot of them. They're not, but what they do show up, though. They do show up. And I find them to be very curious, and they have lots of questions, but I can also see their uncertainty because they walked in. They're not walking into their own ideas. They're walking into somebody else's thoughts and others, somebody else's fears and anxieties, and right? Yeah, because the residue still sticks around. Okay, you guys, I'm babbling off about stuff that probably nobody gets except for me. So we're going to call it a night, everybody. Merry Christmas. I hope I see you on Christmas Eve. Come with your favorite drink, pair of pajamas, sit in your underwear if you want to, because nobody's going to see you, right? Unless you guys are watching me. So I'm not going to be sitting in my underwear. But I may be in my pajamas. I may still be dressed up for my visit with my sisters, right? On Christmas Eve. We'll have a get together on Christmas Eve. And then Christmas Day, I'll just spend with myself, right? And just doing for myself and gifting myself that day. So, yeah, we're just going to plow through and, yeah, have a Merry Christmas. It has been a really nice Christmas. I really have enjoyed interacting with the people that I work with and the people that I serve in the community that I serve. It has been a very nice Christmas so far in comparison to the past half a dozen years, for sure. I feel that warmth this year. Okay, you guys, that's it for tonight. Everybody, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow at some point on what's my what's my good cheer. If you want to come in, Melvin sometimes hits me up when he's not busy and he comes across my content. But if any of you want to join me then, if not, I'll be live in our Christmas Eve party on Tuesday. Tuesday's Christmas Eve, is it not? Christmas Eve, no matter what, I'm here on the 24th. So tomorrow is Monday, Christmas Eve. Yes, Tuesday night. Wednesday is Christmas Day, right? So Wednesday will be a day for me. Tuesday will be a day for me too, because I'll be right here, and you guys will get to hang out with me as I open up my Christmas stocking for my sister Tracy, because nobody does better stockings than she does. Okay, you guys, have a great night, and we'll see you Christmas Eve. I'm going off to see Nancy's video. Everybody, have a great night.